Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to every single one of you out there watching this video. Welcome to today's gaming news. Last week was packed with news because Gamescom took the main stage, and all throughout the week, news, updates, and interviews flooded gates of gaming news. For that reason, I made a short segment talking about the top 8 games announced during the opening night live of Gamescom, so go check it out. However, this video is not gonna be about that because there were other news outside of that. So in this video, I'll bring you more coverage outside of Gamescom and talking about more sporadic gaming news from last week. So let's get started. Some bad news for Mario fans. Longtime voice actor of Mario announced last week his retirement of the role. For nearly 30 years of voicing the famous character through a huge amount of games, and also participating in the movie Super Mario Bros. Not as Mario, but the father, his journey started all the way back to Super Mario 64. The announcement was given through a statement from Nintendo on social media. Charles is now moving into the brand new role of Mario Ambassador. With this transition, he will be stepping back from recording character voices for our games. But he'll continue to travel the world sharing the joy of Mario and interacting with you all. For many, Charles will be the one and only voice of the character, as he will be an iconic role on Mario's progress through time. The voice actor also posted a tweet to fans around the world, "My new adventure begins. You are a number one in my heart." This coming week, things are heating up for Xbox. Starfield premiere keeps gaining speed and hype, as slowly the time for players around the world to play the game for the first time approaches like a train at full speed. Because of the anticipation for the game, you can expect any product from the game, like special editions of any kind, sold out in a matter of seconds. However, Xbox will be releasing console wraps for those that wish to get their own type of memorabilia about the game. A Starfield design will be available for the Series X starting in October. Well, just hold on. If you aren't interested in the Starfield's wrap, but still wish to change your Series X to a different color, you can do so. Alongside the Starfield wrap, there will also be an Arctic and Mineral Camo wraps. These wraps will cost $50. Following the negotiations between Microsoft and the CMA, in their efforts to bring games to everyone, the first batch of games available on their cloud streaming platforms is starting to get there. Coming to Nvidia's GeForce Now, you can now play Xbox PC Game Pass games. To access them, a brand new Xbox button has been integrated on the platform. You will be able to enjoy Game Pass on GeForce Now, at least if you own the subscription. Now, not every game from Game Pass is available, only some selected titles. You can expect to see games owned by Xbox Game Studios and a few outside of that, like No Man's Skies, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Valheim. Now I'm interested. Any of you guys use this type of service? Cloud gaming? Let me know in the comments. Staying on topic with cloud streaming, it was announced last week Ubisoft will now stream Activision Blizzard games. To appease regulators, Microsoft continues to break down their cloud gaming streaming games from the Activision acquisition. Both companies have signed a contract that gives the cloud streaming rights of all Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft for the next 15 years. And this is only going to be happening outside of the EU, because the EU didn't want to have this type of agreement or didn't want to force Microsoft into this. So, players will now, outside of EU, will now potentially have access to these games through Ubisoft, who will most likely put it behind its paywall known as Ubisoft Plus. This move was taken to shut up regulators about Microsoft becoming the main party on cloud gaming. By giving rights to Ubisoft, another big company, now Microsoft cannot become the sole and biggest company with access to cloud streaming of these games, after the CMA has decided to start with a new investigation of the deal. The deadline for this new decision and discoveries is bound to happen or be decided by October 18, 2023. Microsoft giving rights to Ubisoft did raise flags across media gaming news. And since Gamescom was happening at the same time, ING took the opportunity to ask Phil Spencer about the deal and clear any confusion. The biggest takeaway of this: even if after the deal goes through, Xbox Game Pass will still have cloud streaming from Activision. So basically what Microsoft is doing is extending or sharing the rights with Ubisoft. Many thought the deal meant only Ubisoft had the rights of cloud streaming. But still, what are your thoughts on this? Will you pay a Ubisoft Plus subscription to play games through the cloud? I think potentially, in my case, if I had to choose, I will simply stay in my Game Pass subscription. It really has already cloud gaming, at least on the Ultimate tier. While also being able to play on PC and console, I can continue to do that as well. I find it a bit strange dealing with where some would prefer to pay for Ubisoft Plus. I mean, maybe some are more interested on that, but there could be people planning to do that, so what do I know? Now, moving on from Xbox, let's talk a little bit about PlayStation. They also had a moment of spotlight for the company as it continues to push and present one of their newest products to consumers. I'm talking about Project Q, or in its new name, PlayStation Portal. It will cost $200. First announced during the last PlayStation Games showcase, the device connects remotely to a PlayStation 5 over Wi-Fi. Is anyone interested in this? If you own a PS5, for real, let me know in the comments. I'm not trying to hate on the product, but I see it as quite limiting. While it does get advertised as something to use only within the same household, PlayStation is really missing the mark with this one. It could have worked on their cloud gaming experience, so players even traveling could continue to enjoy their games. Now, if you're thinking, I'll buy this instead of a PS5, don't do it, because the company has also said the device won't be able to access games through cloud streaming from PlayStation Plus Premium. So you must own the PS5 hardware to make PlayStation Portal work. In my opinion, that's quite useless of a product. Again, not bringing friction into the topic, but other options out there that are way better than this. For example, in the case of PC, you can play with your Steam Deck anywhere. It isn't necessary to be in the same household of your PC. We can also look at the Game Pass. With the Ultimate tier, you can essentially play anywhere and in anything that has access to the Game Pass app. You can play games from your phone. This product, considering the price, what it offers, it is quite ridiculous. From PlayStation, we jump into PC. If you partake in PC gaming, you'll probably own games on multiple platforms. Epic Games Weekly gives a few titles for free to players. And there is also Steam, the biggest PC platform out there. While Steam is the main motor in PC, Epic Games continues to work on bringing players to their store. Their newest mischief to obtain more eyes on their store is to offer developers 100% of the revenue if they give a 6-month exclusivity to them. The program, called Epic First Run, allows developers to obtain a 100% of revenue through those first months, and afterwards, the revenue will revert back to standard Epic Games Store revenue split, 88% to developers and 12% to Epic Games. This is, of course, another jab at making games unavailable on Steam, their main competitor. According to the announcement, even if big publishers join, they can release the game on their own stores and launchers. Is this the doom for Steam? Laughably, Steam cannot be stopped by exclusivities. Many publishers, indie developers, and in general gaming knows the biggest gate into PC gaming customers is Steam. Epic could probably take a few titles. They've done it before, but it won't stop consumers from waiting it out 6 months and then buy the game on their preferred platform. This deal will sound like a good idea for some developers, but they should also have in mind Epic doesn't have many players' attention. Yes, they do play some of their games like Fortnite, Rocket League, and whatever, but it's not the same as Steam does. Now, before ending the video, time for a few short notes from last week. First, Destiny's 2 The Final Shape expansion was revealed during the craziness of Gamescom. The big ending after the last expansion of the story is set to release next year on February 27th, 2024. Alongside the release of the expansion, Bungie also announced their new plan of restructuring the seasonal content as an episodic one. Instead of getting 4 seasons a year, players can now expect 3 larger episodes of content. Next, we have a cool announcement for fans of old-school Star Wars games. The classic 1995 first-person shooter Star Wars Dark Forces will be remastered and supported to 4K 120 frames per second. The studio in charge of this is Night Dive Studios. They have experience and are a little bit specialized in remastering older games to bring them into the new era of gaming. The release date of the game is set to be announced later this year. Finally, the Game Awards will be occurring in early December. This date was announced at the end of the show of Gamescom Opening Night Live. The Games Award will be held on December 7th, 2023. That's all for this episode. What are your thoughts on this gaming news? Let me know in the comment section. I'm the Honey Badger and I like to talk about everything gaming from news to games. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and share. It really helps out. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Keep on gaming.